Hello and welcome to the May Smart Trading Monthly newsletter. The markets have certainly had a nice swing move in April, which has offered some great opportunities. April has swung by really fast for me too, with 2 weeks of school holidays in there. So I'm only just getting a chance to give you an update on the trades that I shared with you in my March newsletter video. But before we get started, I just need to remind you that I'm not licensed to provide any personal investment advice. This video and all the charts and trades I share are for illustrative purposes only, and I am just showing you how I view the current market and sharing this with you. So let's head on over to the markets and get an update on what's been going on. Here's Metastock, and on the screen here I have the ASX 200, which is the XJO. And as you can see, the Aussie market has bounced off its beautiful long-term uptrend line at the start of April and continued its move up. Even managed to break through the 6,000 significant level that it's had problems with in the past and moved very strongly. So it has been a wonderful ride in the market. Let's have a look at the weekly chart, and you can see that long-term uptrend line in there and the channel where the market is churning between these two lines in a nice upward direction, which is always a good sign. And it struggled to break the 6,000 level over here and struggled a little bit over here, but we'll push through it just this week. So it'll be interesting to see if we will continue and whether we can make new highs above this level over here. So if we get some new highs in here, it reconfirms the health of the market is still in play and that we have that nice bull market happening in the Aussie market. As for the US market, the S&P 500, it has been churning sideways for the last couple of months between a support area and a resistance area. If we go to the weekly chart, you can see how it's been trending long term for a very long time, and it was a nice wide trend in there and it started to steepen up. And right now it's starting to pause in there. And there's nothing wrong with pauses. When a market has had some very strong moves or even a share, you need to see it settle and take a breather. So this may be just a breather, and time will tell whether it's going to break in one direction or the other. For me, I just take the signals that my trading system's giving me. Those signals can be on any market. The same rules apply no matter what market is being traded. So let me give you an update on some of my trades. Before I do that, let me just remind you that I trade two core trading systems. I've got a long-term weekly trading system that plans to buy and hold shares for as long as that share is going to remain healthy for in the market, and hopefully hold shares possibly for a few years if they're going to continue to trend very nicely for a few years, but it may only be a few months. Then I've got my medium-term daily swing trading system that trades both long and short in direction, and I trade that system with CFDs, and it can hold shares from a few days to a few weeks. So I teach all these strategies in my Ultimate Smart Trading Mentor course. So in my previous newsletter to you, I did share a couple of trades. So let's go to these now. Some of these trades I had both a daily swing trade and a weekly long-term trade on, and Bellamy's is one of those. Bellamy's is a share that I've had several daily system swing trades on over its trend, where it's had some beautiful nice breakouts, it's moved up and I've taken windfall profits, and then my stop loss is hit. And I've had a nice return on a short swing trade. Then I had another entry into it, beautiful move up, and then my stop loss was hit and I was taken out of the trade. That was another trade for about 22 days. Then I re-entered it again on the 7th of February and it moved beautifully, very strongly. I sold half because it met my trading rules for a windfall profit, and then the remainder hit its stop loss on the 29th of March. And that's my stop loss line running underneath the chart, which was then tightened up when certain conditions occurred. So that last trade I held for 50 days and I made a 217% return on the margin amount, and if this was a share trade it would have been a 43.75% return on the share trade, and it was a nice 4.13 R multiple win on that one. My goal is to make sure that no losing trade exceeds a 1R loss and that I get on board some big winning trades. So as well as my daily swing trade now exited on that one, my weekly long-term system trade hit its exit just this week. Here's the weekly trade that I shared with you previously. Entered in on the 19th of June, moved up beautifully, I pyramided and bought more. Then my position had doubled in size, so I sold half. And then just this week my stop loss was hit on the remainder and it wasn't able to stay above $20 and has really dropped below it. So I held that trade for 315 days. So as you can see, with my daily swing trading system, I can be in and out of a share several times. But what I like about the weekly long term is it's slow and steady, less active, not as much to do, and you just leave it be. And I made a 105% return on the total trade size. That was a 6.4R multiple win on that one. So that trade is now closed. Now the next trade I shared with you was this one, Accent Group. It was a daily swing trade that I entered into on the 8th of March. And like Bellamy's, I'd had a few daily swing trades on this one, but not all of them were profitable. I entered into one back on the 27th of November, and then the stop loss was hit and I took a small loss on that one. And it was a half an hour multiple loss on that one. I then re-entered it on the 2nd of January. It moved up and then hit my stop. It was only a small profit on that one. So not much happened with those two daily swing trades, and that's what happens sometimes. You're going to take some small losses, you're going to take some small wins. But then the next trade that I undertook, when it had this beautiful breakout and a pullback, and I re-entered into it, I had the bigger win on that one. So the daily swing trade, I'm in and out and in and out, and not all trades are profitable. So they're two good examples to show you. Bellamy's, where I had 3 really good trades with the daily swing trading, and Accent Group, where not all of them were fantastic returns. And sometimes you have to get back in there again. So that trade is now closed with the daily swing trading system, and it was just over a 1R multiple win on that one. And you can see the percentage returns on the margin and also the total trade size if it was a share trade. And it was 47 days that trade was open. Now Accent Group's another one where I have a weekly long-term trade open, which I bought into on the 27th of February. And that trade is not stopped out. I still have that trade open and running. So while I can be out of daily swing trades, the weekly trades have a wider stop loss. And this is a weekly chart that I look at my weekly trades on. And I've also picked up a dividend in there too. So that trade is still open and running. And I'll see what pans out with that and continue to move my stop loss up as it goes my way. But at the moment the stop loss is pretty close to break even now, so there won't be a big loss open if it does hit my stop. Now the next trade that I shared with you previously was Altium. This trade is still open and running. I entered into it on the 14th of June last year. I pyramided and bought more. The position had then doubled in size, so I exited and sold half, and the remainder is still open and running, and will continue to stay that way until my stop loss is hit. So I still have a weekly trade on this one running, and Accent Group that I just shared with you. So I will keep you updated on those weekly trades in upcoming newsletters. I'm always active, and I have added some more weekly trades on board, which my mastermind members know about. And I have had a lot of daily system trades in and out. And this is another new one that I actually added on yesterday. It came up in my scan when I ran my scan. It met all my trading rules and I liked what I saw, so I entered into this one with a daily swing trade. And you can see it's built up a nice support level at the $16 price level. It's really fallen back and then bounced. There's a bit of a downtrend in here, moved above it, but it's gapped very strongly and I liked that. And so I have bought into that one. So I'll keep you updated on what pans out with this daily swing trade in my next newsletter video to you. Now the other news is Metastock 16 has just been released. I'm using Metastock 15 and I've been told that there's not a big difference between 15 and 16, so there's no reason to panic and go out there and upgrade. I will be getting a version of 16 soon and testing it out, so I will have more information on that soon. And Metastock do release new versions with some simple upgrades. I mean, versions 8 to 11 were all very similar, and I was with version 8 for a long time and went straight to 11. Versions 12 to 14 were very similar. I never upgraded to 12 or 14. I went from version 11 straight to version 15. So you don't necessarily need to upgrade with every version change. Some people like to. If what you're doing is working and you're happy with the one you've got, then there's no reason to change. And if you have bought Metastock through Craig at Oracle Traders, I have his information under my FAQs page. Give him a call, and if you bought it just recently, there may be an upgrade option available for you. And don't forget, if you don't have a trading plan, my book Smart Trading Plans is available, and you can buy that in Kindle version or order a hard copy from my website and I'll post it out to you. And if you haven't been to my website before, make sure you check it out and enter your name and email in the box on the home page, and you'll get my top 10 mistakes that new traders make. And you'll also then get added to my database, so anytime I send out a new monthly newsletter, you will be notified. I don't send out spam. I usually only send out a newsletter once a month, sometimes once every 2 months. Well, that's all for now. So happy trading, and until next time, goodbye.